Bridgetti and I get on famously, and we've known each other now for a couple of years, and every Friday we go live on Facebook using BeLive Studio2, and we just have a blast. We're joined by guests from around the globe. We never know who's going to turn up, we never know what's going to happen, but we do know that there'll be conversation you can join in and get involved in. Thank you for watching this intro, and we'll see you in the show. And we're now live in the show. Right, okay, we have lots to share with you today. I'm just waiting for Bridgetti to arrive. So thank you for joining me. If you are here, then please say hello, and then I'll know who's here, really. And that's what it's all about. It's all about conversation. It's all about networking. It's all about getting to know each other. But today we have an added extra. So welcome, Bridgetti. And the added extra is that BeLive have been very busy. Hello, Bridgetti.
Hello, Stephen. How are you?
I'm good today. The sun is shining. We're in for a hot weekend, and all is well with the world. How are things?
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Well, actually, it's a beautiful day in Cape Town as well. So no complaints from my side.
Good. Right. Okay. Now we have a lot to get through today. We actually have an agenda, and we're going to take you through what's been happening on BeLive.tv in the last 8 days, in actual fact. But first of all, welcome to the show. And if you have joined us, thank you. And if you'd like to comment, then please do so. This is myself and Bridgetti in conversation, so it's good if you actually start to converse. Right, okay, now the first thing to talk about this week, and I'm going to get a bit closer to a screen, is high definition download from BeLive. And have you had the chance to actually download anything yet, Bridgetti?
I've got, I have, just as part of my workflow, I've always downloaded my work. And so this makes it so much easier. And I think the great thing to talk about here is the fact that you have not been able to download in high definition from Facebook for the longest time. It is now available, but I think the thing we want to point out about the download from BeLive directly is that there's no degradation, and because it's a local recording, you're not going to see any degradation based on your line speed. Obviously, what you are able to put out in terms of your computer is going to depend largely on what you are able to download. So do make sure that your computer configuration is up to scratch and capable of producing the kind of quality you would like to be able to download.
Well, I think that the thing about it is that it's actually being recorded by BeLive and stored on Amazon servers. And basically, it is better quality because it's never actually getting to Facebook. Facebook don't see it. It's all done within BeLive and with Amazon. And from that point, as Bridgetti made, that it is higher quality than we can ever expect to see again on Facebook, with many millions of users doing live videos every single day. So that's good. Now, a couple of points to note in relation to the downloads. And the first one is that the downloads are, it's going to scroll again, Bridgetti. It will eventually. There you go. The downloads are available from your My Broadcast page. Oh, good. That's definitely a good start. Right. Okay. I'm going to stop that because it's like we're used to it scrolling along the bottom, but scrolling that way. Okay. So I'm going to take that off the screen. So My Broadcast, just go to my profile, My Broadcast, and on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see downloads, and you can download. Now, I had questions of Eileen, and the first one is that obviously the time it takes to process depends on the length of your video. If you do a 5-minute broadcast, it's going to take a lot less time than if you do a 2-hour broadcast. So bear that in mind. On Facebook, you get it instantly, but you don't get the quality. So you've got to
No.
wait a little while. You've got to wait a little while for the quality because they don't actually start processing your video until after you finish your broadcast.
And it's worth the wait. You know,
Oh.
30, I mean, if you think about it, 30 minutes is not that long, because basically, and I'm going to touch on one of the other points that we've raised anyway, which is something that people have been waiting for the longest time. I think one of the most requested features or most used features in BeLive is the ability to stay on in your studio after your broadcast, because that's when you do your debriefing with your guest. That's when you further build on the relationship or the rapport that you have with your guest. And it's where you can, you know, arrange any follow-up interviews or whatever it is, you know, just debrief. Hi, Nicole. So just debrief the whole show and then work on what's next in terms of your relationship with your guest. So that was a very much asked for feature. Now it's back. And if you think about it, sometimes your debriefing session can be longer than your actual show, depending on how long your show is. But it's happened to me numerous occasions, to the point where, you know, in the previous version of in Studio One, we used to get kicked off sometimes because we talked for so long. We ran out of time. Hi, Bob. And so it's a feature that gets used all the time. So if you think about it, if it takes 30 minutes for your video to be processed, so by the time you're done with your debriefing, your video is ready anyway. You know, if you think about it in that way. So some people may say, oh, geez, I've got to wait half an hour. But think about it. If you're going to spend at least 15 minutes debriefing, it's really not that long to wait for a good quality recording that you can now repurpose.
Well, in general, you'll only have to wait about 30 minutes, we're told. So if you wait less than 30 minutes, you've won. If you wait over 30 minutes, then you still won because you've got the high definition. But the way I've done it is to say, right, for every minute I'm broadcasting, it's going to take a minute of processing. Now, the videos are stored on BeLive, but as you would expect, they're not stored on BeLive forever, because just wouldn't work. I mean, with tens of thousands videos a day, you soon, you know, no matter how much
it's going to be
space you've got,
impossible.
it's going to be
and
impossible.
I think, Stephen, 90 days is pretty generous. You know, I mean, if you think about it, it's a long time. Yeah,
it's 60 days on Twitch, so it's 50% better than that. And just got a comment from Bob, which I'll take. And Bob is saying, can you not have guests in the studio before you go live and stay there for an indefinite amount of time? Yes, you can. You don't need to go live. We'll come on to that. In actual fact, I know that you've been using this instead of, used to be Appear In. It's got a new name now. You've been using StreamYard to do your, let's see, what's it called now?
I know I've written it down. I've forgotten what the new Appear In.
It's a name that's so memorable that we've both forgotten it. The same week we told you.
It's now called Whereby. I actually wrote it down because I knew I'd forget. So it's called Whereby.
Well, it's where.by. It doesn't make any sense as we welcome Brenda. So if the videos aren't stored, if they are loaded on Facebook, then it's saved right. The videos are stored for 90 days after you broadcast. So what we're saying is within 13 weeks of your broadcast, you need to download the video.
Okay, so I think what Brenda's saying here, she's saying if the videos aren't stored, they're loaded onto Facebook, then it's saved, right? So so I think what she's referring to, Brenda, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong. So after you download your high def video, from Facebook, and you then upload that to Facebook. I think that's the part she's referring to. Brenda, you can let me know if I'm right or wrong.
Right, but the thing is that the broadcast that's on Facebook is going to degrade over time. If we look back at videos we made 12 months ago, then they're not as good as they were on the day we made them. The replay is not as good because they just generally sort of lose their quality. With the new system from BeLive, they're stored on Facebook and BeLive. On Facebook, they're there forever, but will go off eventually. And BeLive, they're stored for 90 days. So suggestion is that you actually download the video.
So you've got a local copy.
Yeah, so you've got a local copy before the 90 days. Now, what I'm doing is I'm downloading, and then I can repurpose the video to YouTube or to Screencast-O-Matic. And just a hint here, Screencast-O-Matic have unlimited video storage for $49 a year. This is not an affiliate link. All I'm saying is Screencast-O-Matic will store your videos at rates which are, well, they're better than anywhere else. So we'll drop the link for Screencast-O-Matic in after the show. But just to recap, you do have high definition recording on BeLive, and you can download it within 90 days.
That's great. I mean, it's a very good rate, that.
Yeah. It's and we've got another comment which is saying, where on BeLive do you find a link to download? Right, if you go to my profile and my broadcasts, you'll find the link to actually download. So just to confirm that, writing, if you go to, you download, oh, it's the scrolling one again. We're going to have this recurring throughout the show. You download from my broadcasts, okay, and that is reached by going to my profile. So be.live, my profile, my broadcasts. That's it. You're there. And then under each video, you've got a download link, at least one. We'll come to that in a minute. Taking a comment from Brenda again. Oh, she's found it. Good. Right. Okay. Job done. So you can download within 90 days, and you can repurpose then wherever you like on YouTube, Vimeo, Screencast-O-Matic, which I just mentioned, or you could even upload it to YouTube, to Facebook again. It's up to you how you actually use it. But do remember to download before the 90 days. Now, we're only sort of less than 10 days in, but it is set at 90 days at the moment. So let's see how it goes. And if it does change, then we'll let you know. But you've got virtually 3 months to actually download the HD version. Right, okay, so that's our first thing. That's the HD. So we now know how long it's there for, which is good. And
sorry, Stephen, just on that new domain name for appear.in, it's actually not where.by, it's whereby.com. I don't know how they got to the name, but anyway, it's whereby.com.
I hope they didn't pay somebody to help them, because if they did, I mean, we get organizations in the UK that rebrand and they get a new logo and a new image, and you think, well, my young kid could have done that, but they paid tens of thousands to somebody to actually do it. So I hope they didn't pay too much for the name change, because the problem is that both Bridgetti and Bridgetti wrote it down, which is probably the wisest thing to do, and I just didn't remember. I know
I couldn't. You know, to me, it's just one of those names. You know, appear in made a whole lot of sense, because you could relate to that when you think of, you know, I'm going to appear on camera. So that was kind of the relationship, and you wouldn't forget appear.in. But whereby.com is something completely different. I think it's going to take me a long while. Not that I really would use it any longer, because now we've got other options for doing exactly the same thing. So I don't see myself really using appear.in any longer, to be honest, because there's no need for it.
I'm the same. I mean, I think Barb did the same when StreamYard came out, that she downgraded her appear in, because within BeLive now, we've got the facility to actually just invite people in for a chat. In fact, I'm speaking to Joe Shepherd later today, and we'll just be using BeLive without going anywhere. And it just lends itself to that. So,
and you can record it if you want to.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Barb. Right. Okay. You can just come on. Dave Richardson. Hello from Birmingham, Alabama. Greetings and welcome to the broadcast. And it looks like Dave and Barb know each other. Wonderful. Right. Now, hot off the press on Monday this week was the second new feature that we're going to talk about. And that is, it's going to take me longer to actually find the thing. Right, audio only downloads. So basically, we've just talked about HD downloads, which is the video and the sound together. But on Monday of this week, BeLive announced that we're going to have audio downloads. And I went, and 6 or 7 old episodes were there, and I downloaded the audio and I played it back. No problem at all. So you have.
And that's amazing. So if you're into podcasting, I mean, this is fabulous. Or if you've never thought of doing podcasting, this is great. So you no longer have to go and, I mean, anything that you can do in one step, or go down from 5 steps to 3 steps even, is a huge improvement.
Well, before this, what you would have to do is one of 2 things. You could use Audacity, which is free, and from that you could get the audio side combined with Windows Movie Maker, or the Mac equivalent. But it was 2 or 3 steps, as you said, and it's keeping it simple is what BeLive are all about. So what they've said is that as well as doing the high definition download, at the same time you'll get an audio download, just an MP3. And cleverly, I think, underneath the HD download, you've got another button which says audio download, and you'll find it against each broadcast that you've done. As practice, they've done it for the most recent few, but ongoing, every BeLive show that you do, you'll get audio only. Now, this brings about a whole new world, the world of podcasting, which is something that we've sort of dabbled in until now. Because I've got an account on Anchor FM. You the same?
I do. I do.
Right.
And I love Anchor.
You start off with the best of intentions, and you actually go to anchor.fm, set up an account, and then I've been using repurposed.io to get the audio side of it. Now I don't need to do that. But it goes from anchor.fm, it goes to iTunes, it goes to SoundCloud, it goes to many different audio only sites. And I actually saw a video on Blog Talk Radio from BeLive the other day. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's get some of the questions. And Barb is confirming that she cancelled the appearing subscription, just not necessary. Yeah, I agree. Because we've got replacements ready to hand. And next point is, right. Okay. And this is an important question, because we're just talking about, I wish I could show both on the screen at the same time. Barb's comment, I'll leave there. We're talking about podcasts. And in podcasting, if you were to use your own setup, then you would expect to have high quality audio. Now, the high quality audio would be at 96 bits per second if you were doing voice only, and 128 bits if you're actually doing music. If music was part of your podcast, it's very important to get the quality right, and you've got to fight. At the moment, as we're sat here today, the bit rate that we get in our audio download is 64. I am reliably informed that by the next update, which is due as soon as to release it, really, the bitrate will be up to 128, which is important. I'm going to go back to Brenda. I'll come back to that question in a minute. So Brenda is saying, another question as a maneuver. Last night I had a broadcast, my background was saved, but it did not show up as both of you have on screen today. We've got an admission to make. The admission is this. Just let me go here for a moment. We are actually using green screens. There you have it. You see my green screen. So we are actually using green screens as our background. So the question is, Brenda, are you actually using a green screen? Okay, so you answer that question. We'll come back to that. And
so is she talking about that, or is she talking about, I'm just wondering, just for clarity, Brenda, are you talking about the background which you currently can see as blue? Is that what you're talking about? Or what you see in our individual backgrounds? If you can just clarify.
Good point. Good point. I am known for skim reading, which is a fault, I know, but we all do it. We all do it, and we take the sense of a paragraph or a sentence. Okay, thank you. It's important. Thank you. That's why we work so well together. And Barbie's coming. It's time to embrace Anchor FM. Unless you're a well-known personality, their distribution and name brand can only help. And that's something which I think we both agree with, Bridgetti.
Absolutely, totally. It's also the quickest way to get onto iTunes is if you have an Anchor account, because otherwise there's a long process to getting onto iTunes.
Well, there's so many different sites that Anchor.fm goes to that it would take you ages. You'd have to learn so many different ways of actually applying to be on. Then you've got to wait, and Anchor just do it for you, and they do it for free.
So it's the fastest way to market in the audio world.
It is. It is, and you all upload the broadcast once, and it goes everywhere. So a free way of doing it. And on to Brenda for the comment. Oh, well.
Okay, it still doesn't tell us what you're talking about, Brenda. So Brenda, there's two things. Yeah, are you talking about the green screen? So Stephen and I are both using a green screen, but in your BeLive Studio, you can also replace the background, which you currently see is the blue border around. Okay, so that is also something that you can change in BeLive. There we go. So which one are you talking about? Us using our green screen or the background that Stephen's just changed now? Because that's the background that you see in your studio that you can change in your studio. Because what you see Stephen and I doing, the green screen, that is not currently available in BeLive. Stephen and I both use third-party software. He uses XSplit and I use Ecamm. So that's completely, for the moment anyway, separate from BeLive. The green screen is not a BeLive function, but the background that Stephen just changed just now, that you can change. So just clarify which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Or individual.
So it's the green screen. Right. Okay, so currently the green screen is not available in BeLive. It's on the to-do list. And we don't know when it's coming, but we know it's on the list. So currently, if you operate a Windows machine, then you can use XSplit. It's a once-off fee to get it. And we do recommend that you get an actual green screen. So the way that they market XSplit is, they say you don't need a green screen, but we've tried it, we've tested it. It actually does not work. I will not recommend it without an actual green screen. Your effect is so much better with a green screen, and you can get a pretty inexpensive one. In fact, if you can just get green paper and tape it on the wall behind you, it'll work as well. So there's cheap ways of doing it. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money.
I mean, the one that I've got behind me is a portable green screen, and that was about, if we say $60, it's less than $60 as I come back to my normal background. See, the thing about backgrounds is they hide all the clutter, so you can't see what's behind me. Or they show off your favorite views, which is another point as well. And coming on to Dave. Oh, right. Okay. Bear with us a moment, Dave. This is gonna scroll. Sorry, Bridgetti, go.
No, I was trying to figure out what he's saying. So let me see if I can see it. Oh, he says, how do you change the blue border? So the blue border is your background in your BeLive Studio, where you do all your settings. So on the left-hand side where all your settings are, you can go in and you can change your border there. And BeLive does give you a couple of standard options, if you wish, that you can choose from. That's native to BeLive, but you are also welcome to upload your own background. So yeah, so those are the two options that you've got: your own or use a native BeLive one.
Right, we've gone purple or mauve, depending on how you pronounce it. Thank you, Dave, and over to Brenda. And Brenda is saying, could you repeat the website to use for the green screen? Yes, we can. Just a minute. If I go to the agenda again, there are two. You either want, if you're on Windows 10, you want XSplit VCam and a quick bit of typing. If you're on Mac, as Bridgetti is, then you need this piece of software. But I think you need a special version of it, don't you, Bridgetti?
So there's a caveat to this Ecamm thing at the moment. It has nothing to do with Ecamm because it works perfectly well. So what's happened recently, Chrome ran an update. And after they ran the update, the virtual cameras are no longer working. And that's any virtual camera. It could be the virtual cameras on your Mac. So it could be eyeglasses. It could be your Ecamm virtual camera, it could be your OBS virtual camera. Any virtual camera is not working on the Mac at the moment because of the latest update. So why these software houses don't talk to each other baffles me. So I've reached out to Chrome. They are aware of the problem. They've passed the buck and said, well, you know, Apple, you've got to update your whatever. I've got all that stuff and documentation, so if anyone's interested, I have posted on social media about it as well as how to do the fix. So if you're stuck with doing a fix, reach out to me and I can tell you how. It's a bit of a long-winded, roundabout way of, it's basically, in order to work around it, you have to reinstall an older version of Chrome. And Chrome is kind of pervasive, stubborn, whatever else you want to call it. It'll update itself automatically and you have no choice. You've got no way of turning it down. So so I have got an older version of Chrome on my computer and I have to keep uploading that because Chrome will force the update in the background. It's just the way they work. And yes, I really wish that they would talk to the other software houses because they kind of ignoring each other. And I think that Manycam is pushing for it quite hard. I've seen on their website. So hopefully Manycam will get Google to make the necessary changes. I hope.
I hope so too, because once you've got a virtual camera working, then you don't want it to stop. We've had occasions where software houses do not cooperate with each other. And I like, what was the term you used about Google then? Google are stubborn. That was the word. Google are stubborn. You heard it here first. Right. And the thing is that, I mean, all the software houses do communicate with each other, but the thing is not often enough. And if Chrome make a change which breaks software, then one would think that they would react straight away and provide support. Right, okay, now, that's not the only thing. So we've gone through HD downloads. We've gone through Bridgetti mentioned everyone in the broadcast stays in the broadcast after the Facebook Live ends. So Bridgetti and I can have a chat without going over to whereby.com or Facebook Messenger. The next thing, which I can actually demonstrate, one of the things that was pointed out was picture-in-picture and the way that was actually being done. So what we can do now is we can go picture-in-picture, and as you can see virtually the whole of Bridgetti's camera feed, and I'm tucked away in the right-hand corner. The one variation you have on that is if I change the theme, then picture-in-picture, I'm now at the top. So you can decide whether you want to appear at the top right-hand corner of the screen or the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. No doubt, eventually we'll be able to appear on the left-hand side of the screen. But for the moment, it's a lot tidier because it was just, well, let's go back to you and me. It was just hung there, wasn't it? It was sort of in no man's land.
Yeah.
So I've gone back to the theme that we are getting used to. I think it's very flexible, this being able to brand on the fly. It does mean that if you're broadcasting on behalf of somebody else and hosting the show for them, that you can switch from your branding to their branding very quickly. And I know people have been asking for branding sets, which would be even handier, but so much going on at the moment. Well, that way you can actually, you could brand for different shows and different companies. Right. Now, in terms of enhancements, as Barb knows, I've had to update my Udemy course this week, all about BeLive Studio2. One of the reasons was that broadcasting scheduling. It was workable, but it was a bit fiddly, wasn't it, Bridgetti?
It was very fiddly, yes. And, you know, you do want, especially when it comes to scheduling, you definitely want something that's easy and intuitive. And I think the previous way of doing it was not as intuitive and it needed some work. And, you know, with any software that's in beta, that's why feedback is so valuable. If something is not right in the workflow, then report it. And obviously, if you get a whole lot of people coming with the same feedback that the workflow needs to improve, then it is something that the developers need to look at. And so they've re-looked at the workflow in terms of scheduling your broadcast.
Well, they definitely listen to what we say. I think you can't. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Nobody.
I can.
Yes, I don't think anybody else can. Just a minute.
Oh dear.
Hang on. No, it's okay. Don't panic. I'm back. Right. So the scheduling is a lot easier now. It is a question of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check everything. Done. And you can't get any easier than that. So you select where you're broadcasting to. You select the date and time. You select your photograph image, and then you key in the description and the title. And the title that appears on Facebook is actually taken from the first line of your description. So bear that in mind and make it, well,
make it
attractive.
count.
Oh yeah, make it attractive. Right. Can you not resize and move each screen on the fly? This is going back to the picture-in-picture. We can change it on the fly, but we cannot. I don't think I can. I'm going to try. No, I can't resize it. No. So you have us there. I'll go back to side by side, and the next comment, comparing to what we can do with many camera XSplit. Good point. Good point. I'm sure I do know that this video is being watched in the Ukraine and in the States and in Israel. So people are listening, Bob. We'll get through. Yeah, I mean, the response of the BeLive team is red hot. I can tell you a true story. Yesterday afternoon, I was due to have a show at 4 o'clock with Deborah Jimenez, who's a friend of Anita and Dolly's and has written a book. And we're going to have an interview about the book for about 30 minutes. And she said, I can only come in on Android. Okay, good. All right. So she's in the States, she's in Chicago, and she tried to get in on Android. And for 50 minutes, we tried every which way, updating the software, switching the phone on and off, closing the apps. And no matter what we tried, I could not see Deborah's camera. I could not hear her. I could see her come into the broadcast, but it was just grayed out. So we decided with 10 minutes to go that we were going to give this a rest and come back next week. So what do? I've got two choices. I can cancel the show at 4 o'clock. I can go live and try and find out why it happened. So went live at 4 o'clock yesterday, and I explained what the problem was. I invited John Upton to join me, and he confirmed that if you're on an Android phone, you couldn't actually be seen. So having confirmed it, so two people can't do it, that's definitely a problem. So I messaged BeLive from within the studio where we're at the moment using the message button bottom right. And that was about 10 minutes into the show. I got a reply within 60 seconds from Alina, and she found out more about the problem we're having, and she actually came into the show herself, but I couldn't see her. Yeah. So that's BeLive support. We're working within a minute, 2 minutes of actually my reporting the problem. Next thing that happened is that Slava, who's actually, well, he's one of the key men in Ukraine behind BeLive and this particular system, and he came in and he joined me on camera, and whilst they were doing that, they downloaded what they needed to download to identify the problem. And within 10 minutes, they said, right, okay, we need to refresh your browser. They did that, and I came back into the show. John came back into the show, and I could see John. So that's what I call customer service. And there is a photograph of Slava actually physically on screen, which is actually doing the rounds of the BeLive TV headquarters in the Ukraine at the moment. So thank you, Slava. Thank you to Alina. Thank you to everybody who helped yesterday. It's when you need it that you realize how good the support is. Right, catching up with comments. Okay. That's awesome news from Barb. And Dave is saying, can you make your logo?
Can you make your logo bigger? That's what he's asking.
Oh, right. Okay. That's the logo. That's the logo on my picture. Just a minute. The logo on the screen.
So you're not showing the logo currently. There we go. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify because they may think that what you've got in your background is the studio logo, but in fact it's not. That's part of your green screen. But what you've got in the corner now, that is the logo.
I'm confusing people. This is not good. Let's see if we can just wait a moment. And one of the beautiful things about having a green screen is that I can go to my hard drive, and this is live as we're doing it now, and I can go to my backdrops. I don't know whether this one's going to work or not. And I'm going to sort it by date, and I'm going to use that one. And there we are. How's that for a backdrop?
Beautiful.
Okay, I'm not sure whether it works or not. Now, the thing about a backdrop is that when you change your backdrop, you can see that I've got a bit of fuzziness around. I do need, if this wasn't live, I would recalibrate straight away and calibrate so that it actually looks better than it is at the moment. So with your permission, I will change back in a moment, but we'll go on with the comments. And Barb is saying, I never had issues with responsiveness. Right, brilliant. Thank you, Barb, for that. I'll leave that on screen for a moment, and then we'll take a screenshot afterwards. So there we are. I've got more clear the messages, and thank you everybody for your comments. And over to Dave. And no, my custom logo top right. Just a moment. Just a moment. I'm going to put you full screen, Bridgetti.
Okay, sure.
All right. Okay. So you've got the BeLive media there, which is on your own backdrop.
I just wanted to show that, and that's one of the things that I can do with Ecamm, is you can add various overlays on the fly, and in fact, you can also add a movie background if you like, and all of that can be used as part of my virtual camera in BeLive. So, so that's one of the nicer functions that you can do with a virtual camera.
Okay, right. Onward, because we've got to get to the end of our agenda for the first time in ages. We're determined to get to the end of this. So we've done picture-in-picture. Broadcast scheduling has been improved. There is a Udemy course. That's not it. There's a Udemy course which I'll come on to. And just to confirm, the audio download will be upgraded in the next update to 128 bps, which is the highest quality that we could expect, really. And also, we have a messenger bot running today, and today's messenger bot will help you. If you want to know more about BeLive.tv, then I have a Udemy course which Barb has taken, and thank you, Barb, for everything that you've written on the course and said since. I do appreciate it. If you type the word course in the comments now, then you'll get a message in Facebook Messenger giving you a free coupon for the Udemy course. And as I sit here at the moment, this weekend, the Udemy course will break the 4,000 student barrier, which is brilliant. So free course, just type, thank you. Just type course in the comments and you're good to go. And that's one of the reasons for using bots. Okay, and the other thing that's going on at the moment, now we've no idea what we're going to wake up to Monday morning, because there's been, honestly we don't, or even later today, there's a hackathon taking place in BeLive in the Ukraine, and I know that Irene has been in the Ukraine for the past 5 days and is flying back to the Philippines tomorrow. And they've had a very productive 5 days, and that's where the audio download came out of. And in addition to that, we're looking forward to things that we don't even dream of at the moment, being part of the setup on BeLive Studio2. Now that they've got this side stable, and it is, I doubt to cross my fingers, shouldn't be doing that. It is stable, and we have HD recording an audio. Sorry, Bridgetti. We have HD recording an audio download, and everything is going swimmingly. Now they've got the core right. The thing is that they can move on, which brings us to something which I don't even think I actually. And Bob's saying, excellent work, Stephen. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And that's about the Udemy course. And if you type the word course, trust me, you'll get a message in Messenger and I will talk to you as well. And we say hello to, oh, long time no see. Hello, Elaine.
Hello.
Wow. Nice to see you. Okay, and you've typed course as well. That's all you need to do is type course in the comments. In Messenger, you get a message from me. And you've got a link to the course, and then you just take the course. When you do press the link, click the enroll now button and all will be well. But there's something that we haven't mentioned, and that is the new destination. Because not only can we go to Facebook, we can go in the destinations, we can go to record only.
Which is absolutely fabulous, and I think that was another hugely requested feature, because if you, for example, I mean, you know, there's sometimes things are out of our control and your internet connection goes down, you can now do a local recording of your show. So you don't need to reschedule. You can go ahead, you can record your show and then upload it onto Facebook as a premiere, and then make yourself available during the time that you're playing your premiere video. And with Facebook, that'll be the same as doing a live video, and you can still have your guest interaction while you're all watching the video at the same time. So that is fabulous. And if you know, sometimes we live in an area where our internet connection consistently isn't great, and that will degrade your video quality. So if you do the local recording, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. It looks like Stephen's disappeared from... Oh, are you back?
No, I'm back. And basically, since people heard about this, they've actually made money using it. Brad Friedman was able to record a video for his client and to send that video out to his client in high definition and actually get paid for doing the work. And Ross Boundy has used it as well in the readings that she does for her clients, and again, her paying clients. So using the recording feature means that you can actually create content which is chargeable. And I'm using this also for the Udemy course, because I don't need to go anywhere else. I can just come in here and record. It makes life so simple and so straightforward. Now,
great feature.
Because as Barb mentioned earlier, she's using a system instead of a peer-in or whereby.com. If I say it often enough, we'll remember it. Instead of whereby.com, you can actually come straight into BeLive Studio, give people a guest link, and just don't go live. Yeah. But we now know that people can appear either on camera. This is not going to work, is it? Or sound only.
Audio.
Yeah, thank you. And come back again. You can be audio only. Now, if you are on BeLive Studio2 and you're audio only, you don't appear on screen. So you don't have to, you know, it's a lot easier. And the other thing is that there is no limit to the number of people who can be on audio. So you could have an interview where you interview a guest, and you could record it, and you can have all the guests on sound only asking questions. So many different possibilities, aren't there?
There absolutely is. Although personally, I don't think I want to be interviewing an endless amount of people at the same time.
Well, no, I wasn't. No, you wouldn't interview 100 people. What I'm suggesting is that basically you and a guest on camera, and you have an audience who are audio only, and they can ask questions. But instead of asking questions in the text, which is what everybody's doing today, they can ask the questions
in the studio.
Yeah, physically in the studio.
It just makes it a lot more interactive, and it makes, you know, it feels more personal when you can hear someone asking you a question in voice, and, you know, because words don't always convey the exact same thing as to when you actually hearing somebody, you're hearing their intonation, you're hearing how they sound, the feeling, you know, someone's feelings is not something that you can translate from words. So if somebody's very passionate about a topic or something, you can't sense that in the words that they've typed, or even if you show it on screen. But if you can hear the person's voice, you can actually hear their passion for whatever the topic is about that you're talking. So it's a great feature, very interactive.
This is one of my, you can see me in a second, this is one of my favorite backdrops, because this is Dresden.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Right, just to pick up Thank you. It was still in the memories. It was only a couple of weeks ago. Barb is saying that it's a great option for trainers, and it is. This is a virtual training room because you could have your students, your class. You could be a teacher, you could be a professor, you can be anybody who's disseminating knowledge, and you can give your lecture, and then you can take questions afterwards.
And
So
you've got the recording.
totally. We're going for a win-win-win-win situation here. And let's go on with the next comment and catching up with Elaine. And it is good to catch up. And Elaine is saying, great feature to record with guests, but not broadcast live. And then have a scheduled watch. That's, yeah, as Bridgetti said, schedule a watch party and be able to fully interact and engage. And you'd be sharing the HD video, not Facebook's version of it, which is absolutely brilliant. And Bob is saying, no limit could really get out of hand. Not, yeah, okay. I think what you'd have to do, as with all things, is to practice and to invite, say, 10 people in, and then 20 people in, 30, and build up gradually, Bridgetti.
Yeah, and as Bob says, it's definitely not something that you want to be trying if you are a newbie at broadcasting. You know, it does require a bit of training. You've got to have some hair on your teeth when you've got so many people in your broadcasting studio. So definitely not something you want to try on your first broadcast.
Oh, no. Indeed. But it's good to have the option there, and using this as it is. I was looking for a word the other day, and Chuck Trice helped me out because I was trying to describe what's possible now. And it is video conferencing as well.
That's it. That's the great description. It is what it is. It is conferencing.
Yeah, video conferencing, up to 4 people on screen, unlimited numbers on audio, and well, I mean, this is up there. I mean, the only limit now, truly, is our imaginations, because we've got the quality.
The nice thing that you can do with this as well, Stephen, now that I'm thinking about it and talking about conferencing, is if you're at a conference and you want to be able to record the conference for a client, but not go live. So if it's a paid for conference, for example, you can record the conference for them, and then they can make it available to people who have paid for it as part of their package. I'm just thinking here.
Yeah, it's great. Is it Blue Sky Thinking? It's called. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I mean the endless possibilities, and that's a good one. I should remember that. I might practice that. That's good. More comments coming in. Thank you for the comments. We love chatting with everybody. And just a minute. Okay, and Bob is saying no limit. So yeah, we agree with you, Bob. And then Dom is saying, when you end a show, can BeLive have an option that asks, are you sure you want to end the broadcast? I'll double check that, Dom. That's a good point, because it can happen by accident, can't it?
But Stephen, didn't we have that in Studio One? We had that in Studio One. We had to double check in Studio One.
Yeah.
We did have.
Yeah, I know it was in Studio One. I'm not too sure it's actually here now. So it's a good point from Dom.
It isn't. I think we should raise that, because that is a good point. You know, if you clicked on it accidentally, then you're doomed.
Well, if you are doomed, and if you go to the camera and then your mouse slips, then you could end up ending the show before you wanted to. So good suggestion, Dom, and Bridgetti is going to pass that on. We're very fortunate. I mean, we learn about what's going to happen on BeLive. We get the chance to test it, and then we get the chance to ask questions. And we've been doing that for the last 7 days, so that when we come here, if you do fire us a question, likelihood is we'll be able to answer it. But if not, we know people who can. So that's the brilliant
Stephen,
thing about it.
Just so that we've got it on record, right now in the studio, my ability to turn my camera off isn't working.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that, so we've got it on the video.
Right.
So that needs to be looked at.
Okay. Bob is saying just fielding commentary could be a well of a challenge. It could. But, that's what we, new ideas and fielding people's questions is what it's all about. I'm trying to think if we've anything missing from the agenda, and we've covered it pretty well. And just as an aide memoir, we've covered, I'm bringing my notes up here, Bridgetti, high definition recording in Studio 2, that the download is from my broadcast. Processing time depends on the length of the video, and in general allow 30 minutes processing time. Videos are stored for 90 days. Please download before the 90 days. And we'll put out a reminder a week before this all starts. So join us every Friday at 4 p.m. in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern. Bridgetti, point 2.
I've just had a brainwave.
Okay.
In the event where you are co-hosting, or even if you're not a co-host, just for the sake of your guest, is if in the host chat, and really I'm just thinking out loud, if in the host chat, which is not visible to the public, it's only visible to yourself and your co-host or your guest, if you could in that host chat have an option to share the agenda with your co-host, yes, or your guest, I think that'd be great.
Because we actually have I actually typed up an agenda today and shared it with Bridgetti before the show. Okay, so the second point, Bridgetti, do you have yours to hand, or shall I just? I'll go straight on. Okay, we now have audio recording, and you can download the audio at the same time as you download the HD. In terms of podcasting, BeLive are aware that the quality needs to be lifted from 64 bps to 128 bps. That will happen with the next release of BeLive Studio2. Looking forward to that. Currently, the bitrate is 64, but it will be updated to 128. Live video sales were not actually mentioned. I'll skip that. We've been going for an hour. I've missed something. You could. Oh right. And the other thing you can do is you can now broadcast for up to 8 hours. And improvements that you will notice, that the iOS app is out. Hopefully most people know that by now, and everyone stays in the broadcast after the show, so Bridgetti and I can have a chat afterwards. Picture in picture we discussed. And we've got a whole lot of links that I'm going to copy and paste. And these are links you actually need if you want to do anything on BeLive. I'm going to paste all of them. So one big post. Right. And the last comment I can see is that one. Okay. Well, that was a hectic hour. Bridgetti, it's over to you.
We had a lot to cover. I want to say a huge big shout out to everyone who joined us live today. Thank you for all the comments. It really makes the show a lot more interactive and enjoyable when we, yes, indeed, Janet. It makes the show so much more enjoyable and interactive when we've got comments throughout the show. And sometimes it can also drive the direction of the show. So thank you very much to everyone who's joined us live. We hope that you've had some value out of the show today. And if you have, we ask that you please share that. And then we want to wish you a great week ahead, and look out for the update either Monday or perhaps before Monday. We don't know. The new additions. We've had many this week. So I hope that you've all enjoyed the new adjustments, and continue to give us feedback. BeLive Studio2 is still in beta. If there's anything that you feel needs an adjustment in workflow, make suggestions, keep bringing the suggestions. When you have issues, please let us know, because it's the only way that one can work through the issues is if you report on them. So thank you very much for continuing to do that. So I'm going to wish you all a great weekend from me in Cape Town. The weather's great. Spring is almost here. So have a fabulous weekend, a great week ahead, and we'll see you back here, same place, same time next week with Stephen.
Good. And if you've got some time over the weekend, do go and watch Molly Mahoney's broadcast, which was yesterday, and that was all about live video sales. So take care, everybody. See you soon.